Hey everybody, it's Pastor John here once again with your 3-minute message. So it turns out that we have been away from church now for, I guess, a year and maybe 3 or 4 months, something like that. It's been a long time. And when we closed church down in March of last year, I don't think any of us had any idea that we'd still be here in this situation now. Well, we're finally getting to the point where we're starting to get back to church. This upcoming weekend, we're going to be reopening for a limited amount, only 50 people, but we are reopening. That's a big deal for us. And so it feels like maybe some kind of normalcy is beginning to come back. But when you look around the world, you notice that all kinds of things are still happening as it pertains to this virus. In fact, right now, the country of India is really being decimated by the COVID virus. We need to keep our Indian family in our prayers and make sure that we lift them up during this difficult time. If you look around other parts of the world, there are other variants and things that are happening in other places. So this is far from over. But we're trying our best to do all that we can to be as safe as possible so that we can meet together again, because we understand how important meeting together actually is. In fact, listen to this text in Hebrews chapter 10. This is what the Bible says to us. Hebrews 10 starting at verse 21. The Bible says, "And since we have a great high priest who rules over God's house, let us go right into the presence of God with sincere hearts, fully trusting Him. For our guilty consciences have been sprinkled with Christ's blood to make us clean, and our bodies have been washed with pure water. Let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep His promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works." And here it is. "And let us not neglect our meeting together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of His return is drawing near." What a beautiful text. So here's how I think about this. First of all, we have not been able to really assemble together the way that we'd like to because of the situation. But now that we have an opening, now that we have an opportunity, now that it seems like we can do it while being safe, many of us have been vaccinated. We are going to try to make sure we follow all the protocols. We're going to try our best to come back together so that we can enjoy each other's presence one more time. It turns out we took for granted all these years that we got to worship with each other in person. Now we recognize how important it is, and it looks like the Bible is saying that even in the last days, it becomes even more important that we find ways to encourage one another and that we assemble together. So let's take this opportunity this week to do just that, and we hope we can do so safely, and we hope that when we do it, we'll get even closer to each other and closer to God. We know that His coming is soon, and we want to be ready. We want to do all that we can to encourage each other. But let's be safe, let's be prayerful, and let's be mindful. And when Jesus comes, let's be safe together. Good to see you.